In-depth. Investigative. You're watching KXAN News Today at 6.
Here we go. Get the coffee ready and just sit inside for a little bit as we watch the weather for you. Look at all that rain that is falling right now over in Liberty Hill. That is a whole lot of rain. And cars already on the road in the hill country. You got to slow down with that rain. We're going to talk to Erica for the latest on what that's looking like here. But as you wake up with us here on KXAN News Today, all that rain that you saw there in Liberty Hill, is it moving its way over to Austin? Let's head over to Rich for the latest on that. Good morning, friend.
Good morning, Sally. Thank you. And that heavy rain is moving to the east. There's nothing severe in it now. We did have some severe weather with it earlier when the storms were over Mason and San Saba counties. This is timing out a little faster than we thought, so that means we get the rain out of the way early enough. Maybe as early as 10, 11 o'clock this morning, we will be bathed in sunshine. Lampasas and Milam counties under a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock this morning. This is the southwesternmost county. That's the southeasternmost county. I'm not anticipating any severe weather there at all. The leading edge of that rain in western Williamson County, northwestern Travis County will move rapidly towards the east. Showers and a few thunderstorms remain active across Burnett. Now into Blanco County. A lot of rain along 281 right now. Lingering showers left behind between Llano and Fredericksburg. Some strong gusts too. We had a gust reported in Burnett, 43 miles per hour earlier. We got a sustained wind coming in now from the southwest of Burnett at 14. It's south to southeast ahead of that dry frontal boundary that will be moving across the area today. A wind advisory for high winds until 8 o'clock this morning for much of our area. Temperature right now is at 53 at Llano. That is down 19 degrees in the last hour, 20 minutes. 51 at Mason to 73 at a few locations, including Austin. Will peak today at a high of 81 with a dry southwest wind for the afternoon. We're concerned about the roads being wet. Here's Erica.
Yeah, and I pulled up this camera at 183 right near Anderson Mill at Balcones Club. Just kind of watch this area. Obviously up north, northwest is where we're going to see that rain build in first. Not seeing it fall yet, but those roads are still slick. So right now, so it is something to definitely keep in mind. It's going to be a tricky morning commute. You can see the rain start to get closer and closer through the morning. But right now, no major problems on Mopac or I-35, 183 looking good. I am watching a couple of wrecks though. One at 71 south of Southwest Parkway at Thomas Springs Road. So do watch for that one. And then up in the northwest area, FM 2243 at Nameless Road. We have a crash there that I'm watching.
Okay, Erica, thank you. We are watching that major scandal to rock 50 people, including UT men's tennis coach Michael Center, charged in what federal authorities are calling the biggest college admission scandal in this entire country. UT placed Center on leave immediately right before last night's tennis match. There he is after being arrested. The program is ranked 4th in the nation. Interim coach Bruce Burke told the team that he didn't have any reason to believe Center was doing anything illegal. The FBI investigation centered on the admitted mastermind of the scandal. His name is William Singer. Here's what investigators say happened. They said that Singer turned into a witness for the FBI, was accepting donations from parents to his nonprofit, then funneled that money in one of two ways. It would go to college coaches and to help those helping their kids cheat on college entrance exams. We're talking about some pretty famous parents, too, involved in this, according to the FBI. Also, 2 people in Houston connected to this and what prosecutors describe as a major college entrance exam scandal. Nikki Williams is one, a public high school teacher. She's over in Houston and also serves as an administrator for the College Board and the ACT. The indictment claims that Singer paid her to administer ACT exams. The other Houston defendant is named Martin Fox. He was the president of a private tennis academy and camp in Houston. He's accused of funneling money from Singer to Williams. So when it comes to testing for college, what does this mean as you're sitting there at home? What does this mean for your kid when it's time for them to sit down and take the test? Candy Rodriguez joining us live from the newsroom. Candy, with a look at the exam's current process. Good morning.
Sally, good morning. Many of us have gone through that process to take the SAT or ACT test, and we all remember just how stressful that was. But it could potentially get even more stressful now following this massive scandal with a lot more scrutiny on security. Both SAT and ACT list their policies and security online, which they say are designed to give students a fair opportunity and to prevent anyone from gaining an advantage on the exam. That includes things like requiring a photo ID even during bathroom breaks so that nobody can take the test for you. They also make sure all testing materials are secure before, during, and after the test. We spoke with the Travis High School counselor who used to monitor the exams. He says this can be a very nerve-wracking time for students because of how much it impacts their future.
Overall, I do think it is a challenging task student has to overcome, not only because of the content of the exam, but I think a lot of students also worry about the implications of what their scores will be like.
To get extra time on an exam like those who cheated did, it requires filling out an eligibility form like this one, and a school administrator must sign it. Here you have to explain your child's disability, and once it is signed, that will take weeks for them to approve if you do get the extra time or not. Now, this scandal could also lead to that process facing some scrutiny. The ACT test is scheduled for April, followed by the SAT test in May. Sally, back to you.
Okay, Candy, live in the newsroom. Candy, thank you for that. By the way, if this sounds a little familiar to you parents, it's not the first time we've seen accusations of money and power influencing UT admissions. Back in 2015, the Independent Kroll Report is what it's called. It looked into how students with grades and test scores well below the median were getting admitted to the university. The report focused on 73 students whose applications were put on hold before being rejected because of requests from college deans or the UT president's office. The Kroll report found most of those holds came after Texas lawmakers, members of the Board of Regents, as well as donors and alumni reached out to UT officials. The report called for changes in the hold process to prevent well-connected students from getting an unfair advantage. We'll have the latest on that for you throughout the day here on KXAN News. And in other news at 6:07, we continue to follow, and today marks 3 weeks since a natural gas leak forced the evacuations of Georgetown residents, families, businesses who have not been able to get to where they work or where they live because they're still waiting to hear from Atmos Energy on when they can go back home. The company is dealing, though, with a federal investigation into a separate leak that happened in North Texas. This was a deadly one. That investigation has advanced to the point that wrecking crews are now removing the damaged homes. It's the same neighborhood where that 12-year-old girl that you saw there died in an explosion caused by a natural gas leak. Atmos Energy says its experts found heavy rain, when you couple that with unique soil, and it produced leaks, they say, that could not have been anticipated. Experts are now preparing to collect soil samples throughout that neighborhood. The music company that helped develop some of the musicians that may be on your playlist this morning if you're getting ready to go out for a jog. It's expected to announce, though, where it plans to open a new creative office here in Austin. The governor and officials with Broadcast Music Inc., or BMI, are talking about it later on today. As of last year, BMI was thinking of moving to a downtown space or maybe South Congress. The company's roster includes Willie Nelson, Gary Clark Jr., Robert Earl Kane, and so many others.
Didn't think I would ever be able to get in the White House.
Whatever music you listen to, you're going to start dancing like this woman, Virginia McLaren. You would be dancing if it were your birthday, too. The woman danced with the Obamas 3 years ago, and she's still going strong, still celebrating, turning 110 years old yesterday. And this year, she decided maybe skip out on the dance party and take it easy.
This year, they feel like, well, maybe it's too much for me because, I don't know, they said we better want to keep her as long as we can.
Virginia got instant fame when the White House posted a video back in 2016 when she was invited to the Blue Room for Black History Month. Good for her. All right, 6:09 is the time. Rich is here for the latest on your forecast and what it's looking like as people start getting ready to get their kiddos out the door. Good morning.
Good morning to you and good morning to all of you. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect for land passes in Milam counties until 9 o'clock this morning. This watch goes all the way up through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So those of you with travel plans heading northward, you'll likely run into a few thunderstorms this morning. Right now in the local area, the leading edge of these storms weakening as they've moved out of Burnett, now affecting northern and western Williamson County into northwestern Travis County. We've got some heavy rain still around Liberty Hill, heading towards Jarrell and eventually Georgetown. Moderate to heavy rain being reported in Cedar Park and also at Leander. That heavy rain approaching Georgetown. Notice the rain kind of starts to fall apart, seeing less oranges out in the hill country. We've had some rain totals of between 1/2 inch and 1 inch in isolated areas. And behind this dry frontal boundary, temperature mark 53 at Llano versus 72 at Burnett. We've got a south to southeast wind ahead of that dry area, and then behind it we've got a northwest to west wind, and eventually later on today more of a southwest wind, and that will send our temperatures up to around 80 degrees. We will have more coming up a little bit later on during the half hour, but right now you're due a check of traffic, and with that, here's Erica.
And thanks, Rich. A live look from our TxDOT camera, 183 at Anderson Mill. You can see traffic is moving along nicely, and for the most part, it still looks okay. It is 6:10 on this Wednesday morning, so obviously we are starting to see traffic build on northbound 35 around William Cannon and Slaughter. But yes, it is going to be a wet commute. You know what that means, so you got to get that hot cup of coffee, a good podcast, and a lot of patience to get you through this one, because definitely you see that rain moving in, and that is going to be nasty. This crash at 71 and Thomas Springs, it's right off the main lanes of 71, but definitely just want to let you know about that if you live in that area trying to get to 71. There's a crash right there, and then also a crash, and you see that rain just inching closer and closer. If you've been watching when I first started reporting this crash at 2243 in Nameless Road, the rain wasn't quite there. Now it's there. You know what that does to morning traffic. If you are coming in from the south, northbound 35, we are already in the red on I-35. 25 minutes from Buda to downtown, 35 minutes from Round Rock to downtown.
All right, see you in less than 10 minutes, Erica. California's governor expected to make a bold move today that only a small number of states have done. Why he wants to put a moratorium on executions. Also ahead, an apology and a resignation. Now the head of DPS is talking about what his department should have done differently. And soap that will make you feel, how about make you smell, freshly out of the frying pan.